Joining me in the studio today is a young man who excelled in sports himself, played college football at the Division I level, and has dedicated now his life and his business pursuits to working with and really saving athletes both before, during, and after they engage in their sports careers. Buck Fitzgerald played in Tennessee. He is the founder and owner of the National Playmakers Academy, and I'm just so happy to have you with me today, Buck. How did you get involved as a former athlete in doing business with athletes?
So, my father was a legendary high school football coach in the Nashville, Tennessee area, a pillar of the community. And when he retired, he started a nonprofit organization to provide ACT prep to underprivileged athletes, boys and girls. And so, big time organization that helped hundreds and thousands of kids. And he really challenged me to give back like he had done all of his life and help these young men. I didn't really know what my role would be. It was like, what do you want me to do? Proctor a test? What do you want me to do? And I did that for a while I was working in corporate America in medical sales. And then I really found a niche, and he kind of suggested that, hey, take those guys out and start training them in football. That will make them come back to ACT prep because they want to train in football. That was kind of the lure. And so I did. I was a younger guy, could run around with them. I had just finished my college football career for the most part. And so I started doing that. And one thing
When
that,
guys like you say, I started doing that, it sounds so easy, but it takes a special gift. It takes a special charisma, as it were, an attractiveness to have young athletes really trust you enough to listen to you because you're dealing with people that have talent and they're not always the most coachable. How did you actually go about getting these young athletes to come under your tutelage and to accept your coaching and your extracurricular preparation that they needed to go to the next level?
that's a great point, actually. I got it honestly. Again, being the coach's son all of my life and seeing my dad, a lot of that rubbed off on me on how to handle athletes, right? How to get on them, how to love on them, and really mix it up and provide balance and really figure out exactly what they need and figure out how to connect with them, all
Right.
right? And he would always say, you can't really get on them or ride their tail a lot if they don't know that you love them. You can be pretty tough on them because they know it's coming from a loving place.
Right.
And so when I started working with these young men, it escalated from me just training them to life advice and to, hey, I have a college visit. I need a ride. I need someone to help me talk to the college coach. And I kind of just hopped into it, and just because they needed it, and it just began kind of really a business and a service that we provided kind of holistically, working with student athletes, developing them on and off the field, physically as well as spiritually, emotionally, and academically. And what would come out of it was a pretty refined college football prospect. And that just grew and grew till we had a lot of prospects.
So you're working primarily with high school athletes?
Yes, sir. So primarily with high school athletes, some middle school, obviously as they matriculate through the process and they become college athletes, then we, because of our relationship with them, and they depend on us for advice and mentorship, they will lean on us to help them from the transition from high school to college, and then from college to the professional ranks and all the things that come with that.
So when you played college football, you played for the love of the sport. Today, college football has become business. There
Right,
was
right,
no NIL, name, image, and likeness when you were in college.
right.
And today, I think I'm right. High school athletes can actually be paid through NIL, and certainly college athletes. So how does that impact your world and your life and what you do? Because you're now helping athletes as they prepare to be paid in college. There's some college athletes being paid more than professional athletes.
That's right. That's right. College athletes also being paid more than their college coaches, in a lot of instances, and so it's been a very sharp turn from the norm, and this aspect of real business and really a corporate structure has been put into really a grassroots type of environment,
Right,
right?
right.
Amateur athletics has become professional athletics, and so you have a blend or a conflict there, right? You want to preserve the amateurism, and these are children in a lot of aspects, right? And so it's really evaporated a 4-year runway that you used to have. You say, hey, this kid may be special. He could be a professional football or basketball player, and you had 3 to 4 years in college to really kind of try to prepare. You still never really are prepared. Now that's gone away. In a lot of cases, these guys are pretty much professional athletes at 18 years old when they enter college, because now with the collective bargaining contracts that they have with the schools, some of these young men are being paid mid-6-figure salaries on an
And some
annual
of them
basis.
are great college players, but still would have never made it to the NFL.
That's right.
Because there are a limited number of spots in professional sports, but there's almost an unlimited number of spots in college ball, and every college can participate.
That's right. That's right. In every college that has the financial wherewithal, most of the what we call Power Four,
Right.
which are the major college football programs, they have the finances from ticket sales, from popcorn, especially to television money. They get, quite a large allotment of money to now pay athletes, among other things.
So, are you also providing financial coaching for these children who are being paid? Because as we talked about, the majority of the professional football and basketball players, after they retire, file for bankruptcy.
That's right.
So if that happens to men and women who are professionals being paid, what's going to happen to children who are being paid at 17, 18 years old with 6-figure incomes?
I mean, this is so new and so raw
Right.
that we don't know exactly, but you and I can really kind of estimate what's going to happen.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of wealth that's squandered, like it is for 25-year-olds and 30-year-olds. These guys are 18, and parents also will need financial literacy and things of that nature to help, because sometimes they're the problems.
Sure.
All right, more so than the young man. All right, so you have a double-edged sword there. You have a young man who's not prepared, and you have family members who probably have been, quite honestly, struggling for the last few years and have invested time and effort and money into trying to help the young man get to where they are. So sometimes they feel like that, hey, it's some of that, it's time to, come back to them or whatever. But
It's like hitting a lottery ticket.
that's right.
Having a kid that's really strong and fast and recruitable.
That's right.
And you are there now as a trusted advisor and athletic trainer at the same time. What is the major challenge? Because I don't suspect people are knocking your doors down, coming to ask for help.
Well, really, the one problem I see that's a huge problem is there are a lot of bad actors in the space right now. All right, you hear so many. Now everyone wants to be an agent now. All right, and because in the National Football League, you have to be certified with the National Football League Player Association.
Right.
All right, and that's a very stringent process. All right, so you more than likely are a very professional, worthy person to represent an athlete. In this space, there are really no certifications needed. So you wouldn't believe how many times I've heard, my dad's best friend, my uncle, and my brother, and these people feel like they're qualified to work in this space, all right, and they're not. And so there's just a ton of bad information from people who are ignorant to the process.
Yeah. How do you distinguish yourself and separate who you are and what you do and how you do it from what we used to call back in the day the riffraff,
Right, right,
from,
right.
from the wannabes, but the people who are positioning themselves, acting as if they can help, but they really are out for themselves. How do you tell my child and my spouse? How do you convince us that you're not like that?
Right. So part of it is, it's an interview process the other way for us. We're at the point to where we don't want to work with
Huh.
headaches. All right. We want to work with quality people who want to do the right thing. If we're dealing with people who, we can tell are going to be a problem, that's not something that we want to undertake because we have a really strong a portion of our business and people who are in our business that do the things the right way. We have over 50 NFL players, a bunch of the top college football players, and so we lean on our experience and our resume. All right, and so I have a partner in Detroit, Curtis Blackwell, and between us two, we probably have a combined over 100 players.
Wow.
We have a kid, a young man who's going to be a Hall of Famer from our program that I work very closely with his dad, Lamont Ramsey, but Jalen Ramsey is going to be a Hall of Famer. Sauce Gardner came from Curtis Blackwell's organization. And so we want to lean on, our experience with dealing with the top of the food chain, where these
Right.
guys want to go. We can point to those.
Your work speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so because of that, we want to make sure we're dealing with high integrity people that are going to try to do the right thing and absorb the information that we're trying to pass on to
So
them.
you've reached a point where you can be selective with your clients and the people that you help. It's only football, right?
We do some basketball as well.
Really?
We do some track. There's some other sports we get into. 80% of it is football, and then 20% is other. But exactly, we want to make sure we're leaning on our resume, our experience, and if people don't understand that, again, they're probably not going to understand the type of people that we're introducing them to. We don't want to be always, the expert on things. We want to be the person, like a great point guard, to distribute where that person needs to go. So for whatever service they need, we want to have the best in class available for them to tap into.
Yeah.
And so that is where our value comes in, and we have the experience to know what's quality and what's not, what's a pitfall
Yeah.
and what's an opportunity.
That is huge. So if I'm a parent of a young athlete, give me the top 2 or 3 things that I should be careful to do, that I should avoid doing. Just talk to the parents and the grandparents and the
Right.
uncles and
Right,
aunties.
right.
What should people be aware of? What should they be concerned about? And what kind of help should they be looking to receive?
The one thing we always talk about that needs to remain paramount is development. All right. And if you always keep that number one, most times you're going to stay on the right track. So this athlete is a great product. All right. And so you have to continue to develop that product, or the money that everyone is looking forward to will run out abruptly. All right. And it's a cruel game. So we must understand that we have to continue to develop the athlete, the surrounding cast, family. Everyone needs to be developing on and off the field to maintain the integrity of the product. All right. Secondly, you have to do your research on the people you're dealing with. Everyone who has access to Instagram or Twitter and has access to making a graphic, all right, can be a big time agent, a big time financial person, a big time tax person. And they hadn't done anything in their life. They probably, have really just got into this space because they saw an opportunity and don't really know the intricate details of how to be successful. And so you have to do research on the individuals that you're trusting this most valuable product to, right? And so people get so excited about the process, and they get so enamored, and and their pride gets in the way. Oh man, I'm being recruited, or agents are talking to me. Well, slow down, investigate, ask for help, get references, and really make sure you're dealing with the right type of people, because we always have told even our NFL guys who are going into the NFL, people are going to judge you. The first decision you make when you transitioning from college, from high school to college or college to pro, is the decision on who your representation is. That's what people can start trying to base your character and intellect off of. All right. So if you are choosing a low quality person to represent you, to the people that you're trying to work for are going to start making judgments about that. Everything's an evaluation. So that's one thing they can evaluate. Oh man, he chose that guy to be his representation. It's not a good look. So these things people have to understand. Again, there's thousands of really great athletes.
I have 3,000 questions to ask you, but I don't have time. Let me ask you this. Knowing what you know now, looking back at where you were in high school, college, is there anything you would have done differently if you knew then what you know now?
Well, along the way, and especially where I play at the University of Tennessee, there's always more opportunity to network, at the place you're at. So many times we're always looking for the next step, right? And we're trying so hard to get to the next step. And sometimes we have to be present and really seek to network and develop more relationships with the people, at the place that you're located. And so that's one thing that I always challenge myself, and we want to challenge our young men. If you're choosing an institution, all right, just don't go for football. Just don't go for the girls. Just don't go for the party scene. All right, think about making a 40-year decision. All right, and so that 40-year decision should bear fruit, obviously, for the next 40 years based off the network that you can develop at that institution.
Yeah. And finally, as a businessman, because what I'm hearing sounds like mentoring, it almost sounds like social work, but you are a businessman.
Correct.
As a businessman, what are the key things you had to do to turn your passion to help into a viable income?
Right. The biggest thing is, again, finding, we always talk about being talent evaluators and with players and everything, but it also rings true for the people who we surround ourselves with. And so challenging ourselves to really go out and find the best people in the space to work with us and our clients. And we always want to have the best in class touching our athletes and our clients. And so that's the challenge now, to continue to find those great talented people who can pour into the product that's the athletes.
That's great. You have the National Playmakers Academy, and you yourself are a playmaker. You're creating plays for the playmakers. Listen, I've been talking to Buck Fitzgerald, a former college athlete and the son of a legendary coach who took all of his passion and his talent and his experience and turned it into a business that really solves a problem. That's the key to business. Any business should be capable of helping clients or customers solve a problem. And we have tremendous challenges now in sports, greater than ever before. We've always had challenges on the professional level, but now that students, children, can be paid more than their coaches to play in college, and even high school students, if they're outstanding, can benefit financially. We need more people that they can trust, that are really concerned about them and have the knowledge to help them. And this is who Buck Fitzgerald is. Listen, I want you to get in touch with him, especially if you're a parent or a grandparent or an aunt or uncle that has a kid in high school or middle school, and that kid is destined for greatness. You can look at them and see. You can see how they perform now. Get in touch with the National Playmakers Academy, and if they can't help you, they'll give you some advice or refer you somewhere that can help you. Thank you for watching this episode of the D-Free Wealth Lab. If you need financial help, go to our website, dfree.com/gethelp, and join the D-Free community, where we hold each other accountable towards reaching our financial goals.